Hello and welcome to a special discussion on the conclusion of the India-West Indies series, which India won 2-0. Even though on the face of it, it looked like an innocuous sort of a series against an innocuous opponent and nothing much that India would have gained or lost. But as things turn out, as we now have the benefit of hindsight when we look back, there are a lot of talking points to have emerged, and not everything is hunky-dory when it comes to the Indian Test team. So those are some of those questions that we will try and address. 5 questions in all, and we'll start with question number 1, which straight away gets to the point, and that is, did India survive a scare versus West Indies? Just to try and explain the question, what we mean by a scare is that right now it looks a convincing 2-0 win, which it is, because you won by 7 wickets the second test match. First though was a cakewalk. But who knows, on a given day, could a better team have fought back from the situation where West Indies began to fight back? And who knows, with the way India lost those 3 wickets, chasing 120, had that same total been 220, who knows? Funnier things have happened in cricket. So that takes me to my first question.
You know, I'm glad that you reiterated it 2-3 times that India had a cakewalk in Ahmedabad, got a 7-wicket win, because looking at the comments, I felt we have lost the series 0-2. Looking at the mood on social media today,
Okay.
It seems as if we have lost the series 0-2.
Social media, what is your social mind telling you?
My mind tells me like a scare against, I know what was trending. About 28 years back, similar target, Barbados, you couldn't chase 120. Right, that was the mood that was going around. But that was a different era. You guys also pointed out in the post-match yesterday and even in the dugout. What are we talking about in this particular point in time? Nowhere have I seen in this particular series where India frustrated by the Windies in Delhi. Yes, they were, but they were never scared. Point blank, India did not have a scare in any of the 2 tests. So that's why I don't know. It seems as if we have lost the series 0-2.
No, but I understand where it comes from. And while you are right in saying that maybe scare could be a little bit of an exaggeration in terms of the word that is used. And so at no point were you stretched or scared. But I'll take you back to that scenario. And I think this is where the Indian team really needs to think things over. After that partnership between Campbell and Hope, you had that massive partnership. And assuming they got out from whatever runs, you can't expect everyone to get as many runs. But from that position, West Indies committed harakiri with the rest of their batters, threw their wickets away, with an exception of 1 or 2, right? With the exception of the last wicket stand.
Justin Greaves and Jaden Sears.
That's that. But if everyone on that day chipped in as they should have, or as you saw these 2 batters do, I'm not even saying everyone needed to score 100, but if everyone else applied themselves and didn't play those shots, I think the target could very well have been 220, 230. And I think in a target of 220, 230, never know if the pitch had deteriorated even furthermore. You've lost 3 wickets, boss. Let's not forget, you've lost top 3 batters in Jaiswal, Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan out.
But the nature of the way how they got out, it had very little to do with the pitch. You saw the shot. Jaiswal tried to clear mid-wicket, he got caught there. Gill tried to go down the ground, he got the top edge. Same if you have to look at it, Sai Sudarshan. It was a good catch. Yeah. It was a very good catch.
But he was beat. I mean, that's a typical spinner's wicket.
But 2 out of 3, in trying to go for your shots, you threw your wickets away.
So then that in itself is a lesson.
Maybe they wouldn't have done it if it was a 230 chase. Maybe.
I honestly don't think that India were stretched or this was a scare by any stretch for that matter. For the simple reason, again, if we are coming up with scenarios to think of a scare, only then does it become a scare. If 230, if this hadn't happened, if there's too many ifs and buts. Clearly we're trying to get to something which actually did not happen, and we're going to talk about what exactly happened. Yes, you will lose a couple of wickets here and there and every now and then, and you have 8 batters. Even if you've lost top 3, I'm not flustered much. Yes, I was
saying that because there's West Indies.
And I'll have to consider. So if I
same test match, better bowling lineup.
No, but we're talking about whether India were given a scare in this match only. So we'll have to take into consideration the team at hand. And looking at everything that the West Indies had to offer and the way, see, we were talking about it yesterday. You look at how the pie distribution was across these two matches. There's only a couple of pies that belong to West Indies. Probably not even a second pie, maybe just that one pie. And yeah, maybe two because you were frustrated for the 10th wicket partnership. But that in no way, did enough to derail you in the second test match. It just frustrated you. It just elongated your stay in the middle. At no point were you threatened, I felt.
Okay, that takes me to question number 2, and that is, what does India do? Is India now caught after, and see, this is where this test match becomes very important, and I think our question number 2 is related to that. Now, a team like West Indies, which till some time back we were discussing should not even be in the same tier as India, should be on a different tier, they could pile almost 400 runs in an innings versus you on a pitch like that, in their second innings, might I add, where they were batting on day 3 and day 4, right? So, which is comparatively the worst time for you to be batting, and they could pile on 400 runs. Now, once South Africa comes, and in the future you'll have tougher test matches versus England, Australia when they come. Now, what we have seen from the management now is that we have had enough of those rank turners. Let's go towards good batting pitches like the one that we have seen. But on these good batting pitches, can India now have these flat decks? Because then, even if you don't lose, assuming, you will end up getting a lot of draws, and that's not going to be ideal for your World Test Championship. I know I think Shubman Gill or Gautam Gambhir, one of them said, I think recently in a press conference, that I don't believe in this formula of WTC, and we trying to get results so that we qualify. I don't want to look at that. We want to play good cricket. We want good pitches. I think Gambhir said it.
Gambhir, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he said it very recently.
I think on day 2 when the lunch break, I think.
Something like that. He spoke about it, and he said, I don't want to look at WTC and all of that. So, okay, fine. That sounds good, and I think all of us appreciated that as well. But now these kind of pitches come, and there is a better batting lineup there. Looking at 500, okay, India scores 500, the other team's also scoring 600. So what should India do? Are they in a situation, should they go back to those turners, which will then guarantee you results, and more often than not you'll win, barring an exception like New Zealand, or you continue with these sort of decks? And
it's very interesting because across the border, Pakistan are playing South Africa at this point in time. Lahore has dished out a rank turner when you look at it.
Because they've learnt their lesson.
Yes. And there, Noman Ali, Sajid Khan are all weaving their magic. And same with Senuran Muthuswamy and Simon Harmer.
We saw that happen a few months back as well, right?
That's when they realized that this is what
Yes.
they need to do in that particular series.
Okay.
Where they had flat decks to begin with. Once they got the turner, they realized that this is the way to go.
So, there South Africa are struggling because they need to chase 276 and the pitch is not helping them one bit. They've already lost 2 wickets in the chase. You have to remember that South Africa have been beaten in India in rank turners as well as in flat pitches. Look at the contrast in 2015 when they came. 3 out of the 4 wickets were played on rank turners. One was rated poor, Nagpur if I'm not mistaken, 2015. Delhi was a turgid wicket. They batted out 143 overs and scored 142. Okay. Then in 2019, you didn't have rank turners. You had flat wickets. You beat them 3-0 still. Ranchi, Vizag. What is stopping them from dishing out a flat deck considering you had success even in the England series? Right? England, you dished out good wickets here. And the venues where you're playing, Eden Gardens and Barsapara, you should ideally go with a flat deck. South Africa will struggle even against our spinners. They'll struggle against Kuldeep. They will struggle against Jaddu.
Shea Hope and Campbell are getting...
But still...
hundreds, where this was a track that people expected low bounce, turning, not, track that West Indies would be used to. There was dust coming out and we thought that it'll, help the spinners. If they are getting hundreds, then I'm not sure you're dismissing South Africa.
Sure, I mean the likes of Tony De Zorsi, Aiden Markram.
It's a problem with your bowling, or they're not used to picking up those wickets in that scenario where you give slightly good batting patch. Because we kept complaining about our batters not getting big runs because you keep dishing out those rank turners at home. Then how will you learn or get into the habit of getting a lot of runs? So we said, let's go with flat tracks. Same for your bowlers who relied so much on the pitches that all they needed to was, Akshar Patel also would come, just land the ball in the area. And he the pitch would do the rest. Now suddenly you have these flat tracks. It requires a different skill. I mean, Kuldeep has shown that he can do that, but it requires a different skill. So I don't know what.
If you go back to rank turners, you're going back to that dark era where your batters' techniques are dissected completely. They lack confidence. And when the big moment comes to deliver under pressure, they will flounder. Anybody then will come up. You have to go with these kind of templates now, what you've seen in Delhi. I'm sorry.
And then be okay with missing out on WTC because you might get a lot of draws.
We don't know if you will get draws because see, I don't think the say
If
now.
you serve this pitch in Kotla, like Kotla, you serve it for, and you can't even serve an Ahmedabad pitch, by the way.
Yeah.
Because their fast bowlers come in to the play and then you are also handing over an advantage to South Africa. So you'll have to find a different pitch. I have a feeling if you dished out a Kotla, India, South Africa definitely going for a draw. Both teams will pile all 500 runs first innings.
Sure, but I think that is the way to go. Because if you go on rank turners, you may very well reach the final, but then you will compromise your technique on the big day.
I think you'll have to go back to the pitches you saw in the India-England series. Those
which
were
were
very
flat, huh?
those
No,
are
they
very
weren't
good.
flat,
Couple
yeah.
of wickets were very spotting, where you got turn only second half of day 3 or early day 4, day 5. Those are the only days reserved for spin. Otherwise, spinners
Vizag,
first-
Rajkot, Ranchi,
exactly. Vizag was
Dharamshala.
a very good is a very good example of that. Hyderabad wasn't, and you lost that match as a result. So I think that's the way to go because more competent teams will definitely relish in these conditions as well. It was just down to the opposition at hand that they couldn't exploit conditions in Ahmedabad and over here because it won't be as much of a cakewalk as it turned out to be
Also-
with better ranked
Also,
teams.
Indian bowlers, I'm not sure. See, if you look at England also, India did well and picked up those wickets mostly when it reached the stage towards the final day where the pitch started doing up and down sort of a movement and your fast bowlers came in, picked up those wickets. I think whenever the pitches were good to bat on, even England were piling on runs. So I think that skill level also that you'd sometime needed, like, Harbhajan Singh and Anil Kumble even on a flat track would get you wickets. I think that skill level is missing. I think Kuldeep is that bowler. To an extent, yes, Siraj is a hard worker, but on flat tracks may find it tough to be continuously picking wickets. Bumrah, as we know, can get you wickets, but then you need sustained pressure. How long his spells are going to be. Those are going to be, so flat tracks will be an issue. I don't know. The other thing is that if you're not going to rely on minefields, I think the one thing that you'll have to look at, which is something that was missing in Firozshah Kotla, you'll have to have some extra bounce. So if your spinners, it's not a rank turner, so it's not spinning square, that's fine. But a lot of times your close-in fielders come into play when that spinners get that extra bounce, So if you can
Something
have
that
like
an Ashwin would exploit a lot.
yeah, so something, if you can have like the Ahmedabad kind of bounce, not really helping, not with a lot of grass helping the fast bowlers because then you're playing into that. But a spin deck which sometimes red soil gives you, but that extra bounce and then your spinners come into play, that's something you'll have to look at. But I think it's going to have to be carefully crafted going forward. I agree with Siddharth on that you can't go back to those minefields, but you also can't have a Firozshah Kotla. You'll have to find a balance where you need to get your spinners into play. You need to have that home advantage, as you're pointing out, as Pakistan is using very well right now. You need to find that balance.
Also, one of the other reasons why you can't go back to the dark ages of rank turners is because you don't have those batters anymore. Let's be honest, your batters have struggled playing spin both at home and away from home. The New Zealand series is just a small example. We've talked about time and time again of that Bangladesh series as well. And in white ball cricket, that's percolated as well. It's gotten down to white ball cricket where spinning conditions, white ball cricket as well, your batters have been found wanting at times. So that is something you need to now be cognizant of and then think of a pitch accordingly. Because you don't have those batters anymore where and those averages tell you a story.
I mean, if all of us are okay with the 3-day test match every single time, then okay. But that is not test cricket. Let me be very honest. Whenever we have seen rank turners, we have remembered it only for controversial reasons. Indore, BGT, Ahmedabad of 2021, England was an absolute abomination. Let's make no mistake about it. Every single time you play on rank turners, you only inflate your spinners' false strike rate and average. But when you give them these kind of things, like what they experience of Firozshah Kotla, They'll struggle. They won't know where to land the ball. Simple.
I think this Firozshah Kotla wicket just lacked a little bit of bounce.
That's
I think
the problem.
otherwise, it was staying low. At times, it was offering spin as well. There was Warrican who got that ball to spin and got the wicket of KL Rahul first innings. Kuldeep Yadav was able to generate some spin early on in this test match. The only thing lacking in this wicket was, I think, some sort of pace and bounce. Otherwise, I don't mind there being matches where bowlers are made to work hard at times.
Okay, let's turn on to our next question, and that is, has Sai Sudarshan done enough to merit a place in India's test team? What are his numbers at the end of, I think this is the 5th test match he's played?
Yeah, I'll just give you that particular.
For India, had the highest score of 87, I
87,
think,
yeah.
in this particular series. Got 3 test matches in England as well. So 5 test matches, and he has an average
273 runs at an average of 30.3
Yeah, so
with just 250s.
question is self-explanatory.
So, 4 innings for him this time around.
4 innings for him with just that 150 that he hit. Missed opportunity. For me, it's simple. I don't
Has
think.
he done enough to get a place in South Africa?
No, he
South
hasn't.
Africa series.
South Africa.
No, he hasn't. It's a missed opportunity because he should have scored big in Delhi. He missed that chance. And that's why you look at it. 87, 39, 11, I mean a 7 in Ahmedabad.
Yeah.
No. I think you have to look at a new number 3.
I don't think you're looking at a new number 3 already. You've heard it from this team management that, yeah, certain players will be given a long rope. I think somehow Sai Sudarshan also falls into that bracket. Reasons we can get into at a later stage. But at the moment, I think that 87, the fact that he looked good in that particular knock, 39 was a missed opportunity. You at least expected him to get to about 50, but he fell short over there. Yes, technical errors we've all seen till now, but the fact that you're playing at home, I think that is what gives you the reason, because you've only gotten rid of Karun Nair, beg your pardon, just very recently, right? And he was being looked at as the new number 3. So you've gotten rid of him. You will give him some sort of time, and home series does appear to me as that time where you can give him some sort of an extended rope, because you can bank on the other batters to tackle the conditions. You're not playing away from home. I think that time you're forced to take harsher decisions, but you do expect someone else to, raise their hand, bail the team out if a Sai is not able to, and you're only playing 2 matches. So maybe if these 2 matches don't go his way, maybe you're forced to take a call then, but perhaps not right now.
Because 30 average in the 5 tests in which he played in the flattest of conditions. Leeds, Manchester Oval. They were not challenging at all when you look at it. For a top order batter with good first class experience, every condition, every venue that he played in was not challenging at all. To have to have an average of 30, damning indictment. Missed opportunity, not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 out of the 5 times.
I think that he's probably the luckiest cricketer that there is in India at the moment, because Harshit said one thing that he looked good. I can't understand what look good means. Did Sarfraz not look good when he was playing? Does Abhinav Ishwaran not look good when he plays in domestic cricket? Does Devdutt Padikkal not look good? Does a Dhruv Jurel not look good? Why I'm taking these names? They only get a chance, or some don't get a chance. Some are not even in the squad. Like someone like a Jurel only gets a chance when Pant is injured. So these are your backups. In a situation where you've got certain backups like these, where Jurel is almost averaging, in the high 40s, and Devdutt Padikkal is, 30-ish, late 30s is Sarfraz. Ishwaran was close to 50 in domestic cricket, didn't even get a chance. So if you're in a situation like this, and as you mentioned, Karun Nair, who only got 3-4 test matches in England, and that was it, and he's never going to get a chance again. I think firstly, Sai Sudarshan was very lucky to get that debut when so many people were waiting, and then now that he's gotten 5 test matches to be sitting at a 30 average, he's going to be very lucky. Will he make the South Africa test match? I think yes, also because the team has his backing. But then that I'll say he's so lucky because other names that I just mentioned, none of them got the backing that they deserved, so deserved. The same team management did not look at them, did not back them. So he's that way very lucky or special in that sense that he's got all this. But quite frankly, he's not made use of it. And Siddharth is right that he's gotten the most easiest conditions to bat on. He couldn't have asked for anything better than the pitches that you got in England and the pitches that you got in India versus an opposition like West Indies right now. Also England not in the top of their game when it comes to their bowling. That England team, you know, imagine if you were playing England in England conditions with an Anderson Broad at the top of the game, and you know that was going to be a real test. He's got none of that. I think the easiest road, and still hasn't really done much. So he's very lucky. I agree, South Africa. Had I been, you know, picking the team, then I would have had to have same standards that I applied to some other people who have been out. And in that
I wholeheartedly
scenario, he should
agree.
have also been out.
Those criticisms, I think are very, very valid, and I have the same criticism. Just telling you what I feel about what this team management will be doing.
They will play even.
So that's just that. But all those criticisms are same criticism that I share as well.
Because after this, you don't play a test for 9 months.
Because see, that England series is not to be looked at as that away series which tested the batters. We all saw those pitches. And that is primarily one of the reasons. Yes, Karun Nair managed to get that 150 where none of the other batters got runs. But see, how is it that the team management and the selectors looked at it? They also saw those conditions and they expected better out of Karun Nair. That is why they decided to, you know, drop the axe on him, because he didn't justify his selection. He didn't justify those runs in the conditions that were on offer. That's why that decision came.
Yep.
And you were forced to look beyond him.
Yeah.
Okay, our next question, and that is pertaining to KL Rahul, and it is just something that I thought of. It has kind of been a revival of KL Rahul. I think we'll all agree in the last, 6-8 months, whether it was his T20 form in the IPL, whether, what he did in England. I think after the retirement of Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, he's now also got a stable position to bat on as an opener. Showed some glimpses in BGT, but I still think started off well, then tapered off. Still, I think was behind the curve. I think after that BGT, he's really come into his own, from the IPL onwards, where he had a very good season. And then, of course, whether it was, in fact, I think before that, Champions Trophy was the other tournament which he had a great outing.
Even the World Cup.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying then BGT came after that. Yeah. No? So if you look at it after BGT, it's effectively been, whether it was the Champions Trophy, whether it was the other tournament. So he's been rather good since then. Now the question that comes to my mind is that because there has been a bit of a revival and critics have now taken a step or two back, will he make the 100 Test club? For that I want to know his age. Right now is 33 and a half. Yeah. Okay, so let's say any batter, not everyone can play till 40, but I'd say 37, 38 is a realistic age till where most batters can be playing. But who would have thought that, for Virat Kohli, he would have retired at the age that he is. He's 30.
He's 37. He will turn 37.
So he's still 36.
A few days
so he retired a few months ago.
Correct.
So he retired at 36 effectively. So if you look by that logic, then he's only got 2.5 years or so. KL Rahul.
Oh.
Okay, so let's just put a middle sort of a age, 37.
37.
So that gives him, I'd be generous, another 3 years.
3 years.
3 years, he's sitting on 65 test matches.
35.
No, he's not making 100.
So how many a year does... so he needs...
10, 12?
15 a year?
See,
10, 12 I think is... 12 you could take a safe figure.
See, you are playing...
an average test matches that India plays.
India play more than... Because see, they are playing 16 in this cycle. He's already played 7 of them. They are playing 9 more. So I'll take him to 74 at this point.
27 Siddharth.
2027, yeah. But then, see, so until then, he has to then do another 2-year cycle then.
It looks very tough.
So...
29.
2029.
That's 4 years.
Yeah.
So that would mean...
He's 37. Yeah. But there also you'll play about 16 to 17 tests in a year. In that whole period. He's just missing the 100 mark.
Also
He has to extend it till 38, 39.
Also, one thing with KL Rahul, no matter where he's gotten, and I do sense that there's been a bit of an elevation in terms of stature that he enjoys in that dressing room as well. I'm very, very chuffed for him. But I also do know how this team has had a horses for courses approach. And with him, I think the demons of the past somehow will just creep in the time that he has 2 bad series. And again, those question marks will arise. We're talking about all these scenarios, given that he continues to score runs and there aren't any question marks around his name. It's sport after all. Yes, he's had a purple patch of sorts. There will come that lull as well. The age going up, runs going down. It sounds like a recipe that he won't enjoy much. Don't think he's making it to 100.
I think, see, again, there are many factors to consider. One, injury. He's had injury troubles in the past. And he's going to be playing at least 2 formats for sure, which is ODI and Test cricket. I don't know whether he'll give up ODI cricket then, because you'll have the young bunch also take over from the T20 squad towards ODI. If that happens, I think it can give him a lifeline, whereas he could then extend in terms of his fitness his Test career. But I think the form that he's showing, and this is just again all of us guessing, I don't think he'll reach a stage where I feel now that he'll be dropped for form. He has been dropped for form. I think finally the big thing that has happened to him is getting out of that captaincy race. Now he knows in his mind that he's not part of that. That's taken the weight off him. You've seen it in the IPL as well, even in the Indian setup. Now he's happy being the batter, and I think he's somehow realized that I need to focus on my batting and let go. I think as soon as that has happened, you're seeing a better version of him as a batter. So I feel that the dip in form we used to see, you may not see. So if I was to guess, I think till he plays, till whatever, 37, 38, till his body allows him to play, I think he will not be dropped for bad form. In fact, he'll be a standout Test batter. The only thing now comes in is that whether India end up playing those Test matches till he's about 37, 38, and that calculation says that he just about misses out. Who knows if he, as I said, if somebody pushes him out of the ODI team, let's say your youngsters in Tilak and Abhishek, they come in, and you're looking at, if he becomes a 1 format batter in a year, 2 year, or let's say 2 years time, or maybe after 2027, that might extend his Test career. He can look at because quite frankly, I think he's underperformed for the talent that he has. When he started off, I thought that he was a 100 Test batter. Just that, the dips that he had, and he's mentioned himself those self-doubts and all that crept in. This is why at this age he's at 65.
You know what is going to dent his chances? It is not form or the thing. It is this constant 2 Test series. Because look at it, you are playing 5 Test series only against England and Australia. You are going to play England at home in the 2027 to 29 cycle. You will play Australia away. So that's 10 Tests. But the other 4 Tests will only have 2, 2, 2, 2. There's hardly a 3 Test series or a 4 Test series sandwiched in between. If you can get that and play, say, about 20 plus tests in one particular cycle, then he can make it. But it is this 2 Test series which is going to dent his chance of making it to 100. Which is why I'm saying no. I think Craig Brathwaite was the last West Indies guy to play 100 Tests. Because West Indies and Sri Lanka will only play 2 Tests in the whole cycle.
Okay, that brings us to our 5th and final question, and that is, who is India's best Test bowler currently? We've given a few options in Siraj, Bumrah, Kuldeep. Maybe you can throw in a Jadeja there as well. Sure. That's roughly it.
Siraj.
And why?
For the simple reason that what injury, what workload management are we talking about? This is the guy who has slogged from not just one series, he slogged ever since December of 2024. In the toughest of conditions in the BGT, he bowled more overs than Bumrah, created the pressure, didn't have the wickets to show. In England, he was your ultimate spearhead. He was the guy who gave you belief each and every time. He may not be getting conditions to his liking here in India, but then he showed he had some spells of reverse swing and some bits of hostility which troubled the West Indies guys on a dead wicket as well. From 24 till now, yes, Bumrah may have taken the most wickets, but for impact, for the heart, and to dispel this whole myth that a fast bowler can be durable and can bowl over after over after over like a workhorse, Mohammad Siraj for me. My best bowler for this whole 1.5 year period from 2024.
Same. My pick is exactly the same. Mohammad Siraj. It reflects again these numbers that we pulled out as well. You can go ahead, sort them out basis strike rate, and then it, you know, Kuldeep Yadav comes up top. But he's only played 7 matches for India. The only one who's played the most matches over here is Siraj, and I'm not picking him for the matches that he's played. That the number 21 is also reflective of the fact that he shouldered the responsibility of leading this team when Jasprit Bumrah, arguably your best bowler across formats and the face of the bowling attack, has been absent. And in fact, incidentally, he's done better on all those occasions when Jasprit Bumrah has not been around. So that also tells you that the man is up for a challenge. The man understands the stage, the responsibility, and he ups his game, especially when he knows that he's not going to be playing second fiddle to anyone, and he fills that role very well. The England series was a very good endorsement. I think he personally, for himself, did himself a huge favor, I think, in terms of elevating his test career, his test stature, everything. That series, some of the wickets, just for example, having fielders at the back, day 4, last test match, you got that wicket of Crawley where fielders were planted on the ropes, but what did he do? Slowish Yorker, and Zach Crawley is done for over there. So I've really loved watching Siraj grow as a bowler, the responsibility that he's taken, and he is not just a workhorse, Siddharth. Or for anyone out there thinking that he's just a workhorse, 115 overs he bowled in England, in Australia, or no, 150 it was in Australia.
160.
And even out bowling anyone else in the England series. Again, when you say that, I think somewhere you are discrediting the fact that he's a very skillful bowler. Look at the times that he was getting the ball to nip back in, because what was he doing? And especially in England, he ensured that he bowled with the cross seam. Not many bowlers were using the cross seam, and he went ahead and picked all those wickets. When he got the ball to, again, 3 out of those 5 pitches were absolutely batting tracks. But why was he able to take those wickets? Because he realized cross seam is the way to go, and that's how he was getting the ball to move around as well. So I've been very impressed with his work ethic.
I'm going for the obvious choice in Jasprit Bumrah, because again, few things to really point out, and the reason I've gone for him is, one, he's played, again, we keep saying that, workload management, and he's not available for a lot of test match. He's played in that period almost the same test matches as Siraj, that's 19 to 21. And look at that, even though he's played 2 test matches less, he's bowled almost the same amount of overs as Siraj. There's only a 10 over gap between Bumrah and Siraj, and these are absolutely revealing numbers. Not many would have thought, because I agree with Siraj, this is often spoken of, that he gives his heart out, and it's absolutely true, he does. But look at that, in 2 test matches less that Bumrah has played, he's bowled almost the same overs. That's so, in terms of doing that. And then there is the big difference which I can't ignore, and that for me, why is it that I regard Dale Steyn as arguably the greatest bowler to have come, because of his strike rate across regions, and ditto for Bumrah. Just look at that strike rate, and it's not even close. The only one who runs him marginally close is a Kuldeep Yadav, who I also agree is a magician. Who knows if Kuldeep would have played that England series, what would have happened? Had to sit out throughout that series. Even on flat text, like we've seen against West Indies, he has the art to pick up wickets, which is a rare quality, and that's the other quality that Bumrah also has. 34 strike rate there in those 19 test matches. Quite admittedly, not even at his best time, by the way. He's had better seasons before this than the one that he's just had, far more impactful, and yet he finishes with that. Just tells you that he's operating at a different level. What happens at the moment is, and why I think a lot of people feel underwhelmed by his performances, because he's set the benchmark so high, sometime operating at a strike rate of 18, 19, that now when you look at 34 and you say, oh my God, it's far away from, but then you compare the rest of the bowlers, like a Jadeja at 54 or a Siraj at 46, it's just incredible numbers. So I'm happy to note that he's playing test cricket, that he made himself available for the West Indies series, which is a clear indication that he has committed himself for a long-term test future, and that's great to see.
Currently the only pacer to play all 3 formats when you have to look at it on a consistent basis
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
he
that's
doesn't see. There will be occasional rests, but then I think IPL, T20, ODI,
Selection
Test.
wise, yeah. If Siraj isn't
Siraj is
making
not
the cut.
in T20.
Exactly. isn't
Same
the
with Prasidh, not in the T20 squad.
Yeah.
He's in your Test and ODI squads.
That's why this is
Kuldeep
staggering.
is in all squads but doesn't play in all.
Doesn't play in all, yeah. But yes, I mean, Bumrah was staggering. I mean, he's a once in a generation guy. So
yeah.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a leave. Do give us a like in the video if you're enjoying our content. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today and do leave a comment because, we discussed 5 big talking points from the India-West Indies series. You let us know what you think of these and we always love your insight as well. Sometime a different perspective too. So do that. Take care. Bye-bye from all of us.